Yeah, what's going on there, Dwayne? Just getting things set up. Well, I appreciate it. I am just trying to get all this set up and then start getting warmed up and go from there. What is this? There it is. There we go. Da-da-da. Alrighty, I think we're about there. We got everything loaded up and ready to rock. Just about. Alright. So here we are, back at the table. Went out last night and shot on league. Barely won my 9-ball match by like 3 balls. So yeah, we gotta get some practice in. We're gonna start off with a little bit of knocking them around, and then maybe run some drills, and then go from there. So yeah, tournament's in less than a month. It's gonna be March 3rd, I want to say. So on March 3rd, I got a 9-ball tournament, and we gotta get ready, which is gotta be a nightmare because I am nowhere near where I need to be. Yeah. So I play on APA, which is Amateur Pool League Association, blah blah. But this tournament that I'm in, the winner of this, well, the top, I believe they're sending 5 people to Vegas to play in nationals. So this is basically the best in the state. There are 67 people aside, or including me, in the tournament for 9-ball. And I missed the 8-ball qualifier, so no luck on that one. But yeah, so this is basically what I do. I start off with a little bit of knocking them around a little bit, getting a feel for the table, the speed, Brand new felt, brand new rails, brand new felt. Just had it done last Friday. It's slick as hell. It is fast. It is unforgiving. So I got a couple of obstacles in the way, like there's a pole that's connected to. There's another pole at the other end of the table. And yeah, just support pillars that you can't avoid because otherwise you wouldn't have a house. So that also doesn't really help a whole lot when you're setting up your shots and you see where you need to be, you see what you need to do. Sometimes it doesn't work. And there's a couple of sections here where I can't, like right here, basically anything in this area. If it's up on this side of the rail, I'm pretty much hooked. So it adds another layer of complexity to the already difficult game of balls and holes. However, if I can control the cue ball like I should be able to, then that pillar shouldn't be a problem at all. Unless, of course, you manage to land it right there. Then it's a little bit of a problem. Not too bad. So yeah, the table is extremely fast. Barely touched the ball and it goes screaming down table and everything else. What's underneath the slate? Yeah, it's slate. Yeah, it's actually I stand corrected. So if Dave is watching, I do stand corrected. This is a single piece slate. And the problem with that is moving a single piece of slate this size is extremely heavy. And this pocket, actually, when they had the rail off, this pocket has got a chip out of it from where it looks like they tried setting it down. And it, like I said, you try to move a single piece slate, you're going to break something. So this corner down in here, down in this pocket right here, just on the inner lip, it's got a big old chip out of it, just inside there. And there's, I mean, it's one of the hardest things to do is move a single piece of slate this size. You know, it's 6 foot long, 4 foot wide. It's not light. Not a light piece of material. So yeah, and it's you know, you get them where they're two pieces, where it's split here. It's real easy to move. I can't say real easy, but relatively easy. A lot easier than moving a solid piece, you know. So, or you get them in 3-piece when it's like 8 or 9 foot, you know, and then you're talking about here, you know, per section for a 2-piece, and then the 3 pieces are obviously a little bit smaller, but yeah, it's one of those things. But it's a real nice table. It's older than dirt. I don't even know the name brand on it. It's a Fisher. I've never even heard of Fisher. It's older than dirt. That thing's got to be 65, 70 years old. But it shoots nice. Now that I got the new felt on there, it's slicker than hell. The rails were dead. I mean, these rails were completely dead. That one was falling off completely last week, and I had enough of it. I was tired of practicing on garbage, so I had it redone. This is actually my boss's house, my boss's table, and he is fortunate to let me use. Or I'm fortunate that he lets me use said setup. So, kind of been making the best of it while he's in Florida on vacation, and I'm holding down the company. So I got a long day ahead of me tomorrow. So there probably won't be any streaming tomorrow. then on, I don't know, maybe tomorrow night, but tomorrow's going to be a long day. I got to drive to the other side of the state, so it's going to be a 3-hour trip one way. And then obviously do the work once I get there, and then a 3-hour trip back. So it's going to be a long day. Well, that's all right. That's what we do. Which is unfortunate. It would have been nice to schedule it today. It's beautiful out right now. It's like 45 and sunny. And nope. Those pockets are tight. Those side pockets are tight. You cannot cheat them. Just a little bit too much speed and it'll kick it out at you every time. Every single time. And that fell, that even went too far. I was expecting that to die right over here. That's alright. We'll take a hard cut. Nope. Way too much. Got that way too thick. But yeah, first rack of the day. We'll get warmed up. Like I said, last night went out and it was a rough night. They had a 5.5 foot table at the bar that we were shooting at, which kind of pissed me right off because everything else is 6 foot. And they had us shooting at a pool hall that had 8 foot tables, and threw that into, that was way off. Talking while I'm shooting. So they had 8 foot tables, which was throwing off everybody's game because most of the tables on League are 6 foot. Actually, they're all supposed to be 6 foot. And then you'd end up at that pool hall for, you know, the 2 teams that shot out of there, and they were 8 foot tables. So that threw off everybody. Of course, the home team had the advantage because they would be playing on it every other week. And then everybody, all the visitors that would play there, would just get demolished because you go from shooting on a 6 foot to an 8 foot, all your angles are off, everything's off. Same with last night. I went from shooting on a 6 foot, and they had a 5.5 foot, which means the end of the table was at this diamond, and it's actually 6 inches shorter, so it'd be, or 6 inches narrower, so it'd be about there as far as table space goes, right? So that's about 6 foot or 6 inches. So the table is actually there down to that end diamond. So it's a much smaller table, like drastically smaller table. And that threw off my game like you wouldn't believe. I couldn't make a single bank shot. I was playing hell the whole time that I was there last night, and it was miserable. Absolutely miserable. So I did put in a message to the league operator like, yo, you might want to straighten this out, but whether or not he does, I really don't care. I mean, I'll probably only shoot on it once this season. But all the same, it is, once again, back to the home team's advantage of they're playing on those tables every other week. So they get the extra play time on those tables to whereas they can kind of adjust. Whereas, you know, visiting team doesn't get that. So, but now that I know, I know. Yeah, well, not even in an hour. I mean, it's, you show up, you get a little bit of warm-up before you show up, before it starts, you know, like it starts at like 6:30. They bumped it up when COVID hit. We used to start at 7:30, which was beautiful. You missed rush hour and everything. Now it's show up in the dead of rush hour. Try not to be infuriated by the time that you get out of your vehicle and step up to a table. You know what I mean? Like, your nerves are already rattled from dealing with idiot drivers that are in a rush to get home. And then you get onto a table like that, and you got, you know, 5 people on your team, 6 people on, well, 5 matches have to be played, so you have to have a minimum of 5 players on your team. We've got 8. So for everybody to get warmed up, you've only got limited time on the table. Like, you're talking a game, maybe 2 games, a rack, maybe 2 racks, before, your time's up, the next people get to warm up and moving on. Unless you get there, like, super early, which is hard to do in the dead of rush hour. Everything's gridlocked, traffic jammed, and everything else. So, not easy circumstances. But yeah, in the 2 games that I got to warm up on it, well, a game and a half that I got to warm up on it, it was miserable. And then the way that they have warm-ups is you don't get to warm up on both tables at the same time. One team warms up on one table, your team warms up on the other table. Well, we got roped into warming up on the 5.5 footer while their team was warming up on the 6 footer. So, okay, cool, whatever. All the same, you go from warming up on a 5.5 foot table and then go and jump into a match game on a 6 foot table, all of a sudden your game's off. And you're wondering, why is it that I can't make a simple straight-in shot? Why can't I make a bank shot? Why can't, you know what I mean? So it really needs to be addressed. But like I said, I addressed it this morning with the league operator. So whether or not he does something about it, okay. If not, whatever. Not on me. I can only do what I can do and just make the best of it. So that was way off. So that's kind of all I've been thinking on. But yeah, I played my 9-ball match on the 5.5 foot table, and it was miserable. Not even gonna lie, I barely won the match against a pretty decent player, So I mean, it was still a close match, but it was definitely different. It doesn't handle like this table does, though. I'll tell you that much. This table handles like glass, and those tables over there were, I don't know if they've refelted them in the past decade. So it was a lot slower tables, a lot more action out of the cue ball, a lot less slide out of the cue ball. Yeah, it's interesting going from a brand new table to an old, a worn table, I should say, which is, it's an interesting change of pace. But I'd rather practice on good and dial it back for, worn in or broke in tables than practice on an old dead busted table and then go on to a worn in table. So nope, don't do that. Don't do that when you're playing a game. That'll be a bad day. Had a lot of good matches. We played a really good team yesterday. So it was a late night, but it was definitely a lot of fun. Those guys are always a good group to play against. Whoops, rattled it. Yeah, we'll have to get a little bit of practice in, and like I said, it's going to be a little bit different between playing on this one. At the tournament, I don't know if they're going to be brand new felt. I don't know exactly what they're going to be doing at the tournament just yet. I was told that it's supposed to be brand new felt, but whether or not that's the case is another story. Like, until I show up, I won't know what I'm working with. But if it is new felt, hey, at least I will be relatively ready for it. And this table has got really tight pockets here. These ones are unforgiving. If you hit it with any kind of speed, like I said, it'll throw it right back out at you. So this is a very difficult table to shoot. Like that, should have just trickled in. Not going to happen on this table. This table you got to be dead on, or they don't go in the sides. So it definitely improve your game if you take it serious, which I try to. But generally when I'm talking in the middle of my backstroke, I'm not going to make it, just because it's that whole ability to breathe and shoot. You know, there's a lot of concentration and focus that goes into it. But that's alright. That's part of it, you know? Alright, let's see here. So I was watching some of the pros have actually gone through and made different warm-ups and things of this nature, and different drills and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of want to try some of those out. Not that I'm pro by any means, but you know, practice what you want to be. You know, just 'cause I'm not pro right now doesn't mean I won't be in 5 years. Of course, I'll never be pro. I'm too old for it, but I'll get there. At least be better, you know? I don't have to be pro, I just have to be better than what I was. But yeah, I normally put in a couple hours on the table. Try to put in like 2 hours a day. At least 2 hours a day on the table. Probably 2 hours of streaming, maybe more, you know, after the stream shuts down. But I definitely want to get some hours in on the table and use it to my advantage while I can, you know, so as much as possible. It's nothing exciting, you know, it's nice to have people to talk with and know that people are watching. That's another thing, is the amount of people that are spectating at these events is insane. Sit. Oh, that's a nice defense. That's another thing. You gotta practice defenses, because like some of these guys are, you know, some of the guys that I know, they can make contact with the ball, but not only make contact with the one ball, but put it over in that corner pocket. You know, like some of these guys are, they should be on the pro league, and they're considered amateurs, which is hilarious. They're wrong side of it entirely. But yeah, it's crazy. Some of these guys got some insane talent. Just absolutely incredible talent that shows up to these events. And even on the weekly, you know, on the weekly teams events that we're having, you know, just the regular bar nights, there's some incredible talent there too, and some of them are going to be there on the 3rd, which is going to be interesting, because some of them are just absolutely incredible players. Get out of there. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. It helps. I don't know if I'm going to be going full-time streamer just yet, but you know, always a side goal, I guess. You know, have yeah, that's all right. There's a lot of people that aren't. You know, like I said, I just started streaming. What was it, last week? You know, a few days before I had it refelted. And then I realized then that, you know, I'm not going to practice on garbage, and I'm not going to And I'm not going to spray on garbage either, because that's just me being aggravated, and nobody wants to see me all irate and pissed off. You know, especially over a game like this, where it's, you know, you're supposed to be having fun with it. You're supposed to be, you know, trying new things and you know, keeping it lighthearted, not being aggravated. See if I can put it in the side. Nope. Put it in the corner, though. Try it again. Nope. Decent defense, though, for not being able to make it. That's the other thing about 9-ball is there's a lot of defense. People play defense like you wouldn't believe. So much defense in 9-ball. A single match will last forever just because it's, you know, hook your opponent and then they hook you back and then, you know, they pull something like that and push it down table to the point where you can't see it. I didn't hit that hard enough. That should have been behind the 7. That way you couldn't see it, but still not an easy shot. But there's a lot of that, a lot of defensive play and a lot of strategy involved. I never realized how much strategy was actually involved in this game. Growing up, I'd played a lot of bar pool, 8-ball. But at the bar, nobody's sitting there trying to play defense. They just step up and make all the balls, you know, just step up and win. You know, there's no sense in playing defense in a bar when there's 20 people on the list. Beat the balls in the hole, and you know, if you win, you win, and if you don't, well, good try. So it's a whole different mentality coming into league play. I can't get to that. I can't get to that at all. Yeah, I can't get to that at all. Oh, normally I'd jack up my stick in Mass A and go around the 7, but I don't want to destroy the beautiful new cloth. Oh, we might do it anyways, just because. Nope, I'm not going to. I need too much angle, and I got a roof above me. Yeah, that's a punt. You'll get that every once in a while where you play a good defense and you get ball in hand, which is really great. And you actually get to, you know, hook yourself like this. Get yourself a good layout and completely screw it up before you even get started on a run. I did that a lot last night. Nope, that was off. Wow, that was worse. Wrong side of it. Plank. Keep your stick down. Keep your stick down. Of course, you know. That's another thing about it. You know, I sit here and mess around by myself like this, and I'll get myself into a pretty good pickle more times than not. But that'd give you a little bit of practice on, you know, trying to figure out a way out of the situation. That should have dropped back a little bit. Stop shot should have been a draw shot, but that's alright. Get in the way, 6. Get in the game. I don't even have my music playing. Well, can't hear what I'm hearing. Here's what I'm hearing. I'm over here jamming. That's why it seems like I'm screaming. Yeah, I'm screaming over the music. You're welcome. But yeah, gotta be able to have your jams when you're doing anything, basically. Yee, just that little extra. Oh, missed it. There's actually a guy that was shooting last night that needed to make something a little bit like that. And he didn't realize how to shoot it. And that was off by a lot. He didn't know how to shoot that shot. And he missed it. And his opponent made it. You know, well, he made his ball, but it didn't follow on the second ball. That was on an 8-ball match. And it was set like set up like that, you know. And instead of putting, he was pretty straight on it too. And he didn't quite know how to make that. You know, he was shooting the 8-ball, and the 6 was hanging in the pocket. And he didn't realize that if you put bottom on it, it'll actually roll forward a little bit. I mean, I would have had to hit it a lot harder than that, but you seen how the 8-ball kept moving after it made contact. But if you're straight in like this, you just put a little bit of bottom on it. And it'll normally throw that right in. If they're not touching. I think they were touching. Something like that. I can't manage to get the bottom of it today. But either which way, that was always a fun shot to do when you're able to. Try it one more time just because it's going to bother me now. Or, now we're at the golf course. Spending my time in the woods. Just like that. That's how you're supposed to do that shot. Get enough bottom on it to where it actually converts, because every time that the ball hits another ball, it changes the spin. So if there's less spin on it, and it comes into contact, like it's going left, right? So it's going left like that. So it's going this way. And it comes into contact with this ball, it will actually change the direction of this ball to have right. So if this is going left, when it makes contact, it'll make this one go right. And then when this one's going right, that'll actually walk down the table and it'll actually cause it to steer off a straight line. So if you put bottom on the ball, so you put this one's got reverse, right? So it's coming backwards. As it's coming backwards and it makes contact with this ball, it will actually transfer this ball to go forward. So when this ball is going forward, that'll give it an extra momentum. And if you hit it hard enough with reverse on the cue ball, it will actually cause this one to have so much momentum that it'll transfer even more power and more velocity to whereas it will send it spinning like it just did on the 8-ball into the pocket. So there's so many nuances to I mean, there's so much physics involved, it's ridiculous. And then trying to dial that all in is like, yeah, good luck. But just understanding the basic principles of it is enough to get quite a ways with a lot of cool stuff, like the cross rail that I missed. That's because I didn't add any left to it. So I should have had left spin on it. That way when it made the contact, it wouldn't have thrown it to the right and come up short like it did. So it's things like that, you know, the principle and the concept is there. Applying it is a whole nother ball game. But it's definitely fun. Definitely fun trying to figure it out, and I learned a lot of that without any, you know, instructional. It was just kind of doing it myself for years and years and years. And then, you know, everybody and their brother has got a YouTube now, and a lot of the pros have even got YouTubes on, you know, different tips and tricks and things of this nature. So, which is cool, you know. But YouTube wasn't a thing. Hell, the internet wasn't even a thing when I learned how to play. I learned by watching other people playing and watching on TV and seeing what they were doing and kind of getting an understanding of it, you know, at a very young age. Which just means that I should be a lot better than what I am now, but that's alright. You know, everybody's got their skill level. You can't compare yourself to other people, you know, that's not part of it. You know, you can only do what you can do. It's one of those individual sports where, you know, everybody can tell you how to do it, but being able to apply it is a whole different animal. You know, like this one where the 2-ball, the 7-ball, I can hit the 2-ball, take the cue ball off the 2-ball, make the 7 in the corner. That'll send the 2-ball off the back rail, probably off the 6, glance off the 6, come down this side of the table. I got lucky and hit the edge, but, you know, concept's there. Executing it, a little bit different. But normally when I'm paying attention and focused and thinking on what I want to do, normally pretty good with it. So I can take the 3 cross corner and then put top on it, push the cue ball into the 7, make the 7, leave the 3-ball over by the corner pocket, if not make it. Leaving the cue ball down there leaves me with the 4 here, the 5 is over here, the 6 then goes back over here. Then I'm on to the 8, which would be side pocket, corner pocket, I've got options, and that's too far away to even calculate for me. But, you know, two, three steps ahead. So, didn't put enough top on it to make the 7. But that's alright, because then we still got options. Not great options, but we got options. And pocket speed, like, that's hard to find on an older table. And really hard to find on a brand new table. That took me 2 days to find pocket speed on this. Just because it'll sit there and slide like that's too much, you know. That should have died right here. I put way too much on it. So I'm left with another one of these. Get out of the way. Nope, got in the game. So yeah, you're left with some very difficult shots, and I leave myself very difficult a lot of times for no good reason other than I know that I'm messing around. But when I'm playing against people, nah, it's spot on. Right where I need it, right where I want it. I don't know if it's the mentality behind just practicing, or if it's because I'm talking while I'm practicing. I don't know. walking. Nope. Off by a diamond. It was off by 2 inches on the contact point. You contact it here, you need to contact over here. Short by a bit. It's alright. Just getting warmed up. We'll get warmed up. We'll get better. And another one that I like to get warmed up with is just spread them out. It's good practice. Spread them out a bit and try to get at least a couple of balls in a row. See how many I can make without them missing or scratching. You know, for me, it makes me diversify my shots. It makes me focus on, you know, my draw, my forward spin, my side spin, all my cue control. You know, when there's this many balls on the table, you got options. You know, like 3, 14, 13, you know, 5, 1, 10, 6. You know, you got options, you know, like where they're going to go, when they're going to go, how they're going to go, you know. So, like, that was way too much for leaving me on the 13, but I got the 10 as an out, so I got a lot of outs right now. The less balls I get on the table, the less outs there'll be, which makes it more difficult. You know, like that, just that little bit extra really made it a difficult shot. But these are shots that you're going to be up against. I mean, you're going to see these shots. These are shots that you're going to see in any match play. You know, they're not going to be nice and pretty all the time. You're going to be fighting for it a lot of the times. And that's if you can even see the ball. Yeah, I was hoping to leave it right about here. I got a whole lot of draw on it, a little bit more than needed. That should have been a lot more. That should have ended up here laying up for the 9. And this one, I'm going to bank it over here. I'm going to have to hit this side of the ball, which means I'm going to have to put left spin on it to make sure that it throws from here over. And that's going to be tight getting it past the 7. Nope. Way too much. That was off by a lot too. Wow. We're going to have to work on banks today, buddy. Just caught the 8 ball. Nope. Caught that edge. No cheating it there. Not accurate. Yeah, so they got, let's see here. I got this one here, where you set the cue ball here. So you set the cue ball here on the center, somewhere around the center of the table, right? Doesn't matter, this side, that side, whatever. But you got the line down the center, right? So you got this line right down the center of the table, and you make the 1 ball. Comes down, make the 1 ball, right? So you make the 1 ball, and then the cue ball, you gotta actually pull this rail and come back to this side of the table for your next shot on the 2 ball. And you shoot at the 2 ball, make the 2 ball, and then you take the cue ball again on that shot and bring it back to this side of the table, and they call that the yo-yo. And I haven't actually practiced it at all, so I'm going to give that a try, see if that doesn't help with a little bit of speed control, and maybe a little bit with my draw and my side position and all that stuff. So that's kind of the concept of it. So we'll give that a try and see if that doesn't cause any problems, because I'm willing to bet it will. that's kind of the basis of that. Good position for the two, but you gotta make the one first. I keep cheating it. You can't cheat these pockets, and sometimes you need to in order to make some of these shots. That's way too much of an angle there. And way too fast on that, which leaves me on the wrong side of the table here. I should be on this side of the table, over here, for the next shot on the one. And these are all things that they train on 9-foot tables, so you got a lot more forgiveness as far as, you know, table width, table length. So I don't know how well they're gonna convert to, you know, a smaller box, but the concept is still there. Yeah, see, nowhere near enough. It should have drew back a lot more than what it did. Come here. Too much. Side pocket. Side pocket. Yeah, I don't think any of these are going to convert to smaller tables. Concept's there, but I don't see it converting. So I'm going to come straight over, wrong side of the two ball entirely. I'm way too thin on the 2 to get over for the 6. much. Right speed. And this is why I am not a professional. Wrong. It's also why they say, yeah, practice this, 10-15 minutes a day. Don't sit here and beat yourself up about it, Because it's not fun. Nope. That's going to be a difficult angle to get speed. And stay on that half of the time. Well, that's not only difficult, but absolutely insane. Trying to do that on this table is not going to be easy. Not nearly high enough. The cue ball's got to be up within this diamond here and this diamond. Basically between this diamond here and the side pocket and this diamond here is kind of where you want to be with that. Which is not easy. I'll do this a couple more times and see if I can't get a feel for it and call that a day on this drill, because this one is straight in. Yeah, that's gonna test the patience. Never see that happen again. Give it a little bit more distance, maybe that'll help. It'd help if I wasn't underneath the ball now. I'm trying to put so much bottom on it that I'm getting underneath the ball. No, I'm gonna keep pulling straight off. That's not gonna work very well. What else did they have? I had a few more other drills that I don't believe in, but hey, whatever. There's a draw drill. We're not going to do that yet. Do a center line drill. This is basically you line everything up on this green line here. Line up a bunch of balls here. And then you got this ball here in the center. You can go wherever, And then the object is you take any of these balls here on the line, like the 9 ball here, you know, and you make the 15, you know, say down in this corner, but you have to leave the 9 ball, you know, whatever ball you're shooting with, you got to leave that between the 2 diamonds in this area of the table. So maybe we can actually do that one. We'll see how that goes. Nope. Wow. Now I'm clanking. This is not good. draw either. That's fun. 13. Down table, maybe? Well, on the fun side, that's a drill that I don't care for either. Not easy. Not easy at all. Pros make that look easy. stroke is just pissing me off. That don't work. Oh, by an inch. stroking off. Diamond. Diamond. Wow. Some throw. A lot of throw. Diamond. Jeez, a piece. Come on now. Two diamonds. That's where it goes sideways. Okie dokie. At least I know. Third ball up. Short. Basically where the 10 and 14 are my difficult banks. I just don't see right. It's only off by a 1/4 inch at the end, which means it's only off by a smidge on the other side, which means I am not stroking it properly. Way off. Felt that as soon as I let go of it. diamond. with it, ball. Slow down. Must be getting close to the 2-hour mark. That's new. Up by a bit. Apparently I can't make a long bank to save my life today, so that's fun. Worry about scratching. to draw all the way back to here, and it stopped dead. It's a good stop shot. Not a very good draw shot. More left. Shoot back down table. That did not happen. Yeah, I think that's about the limit there, guys. That's about a wrap for now. Got a little bit of practice. Practice some bank shots. Got some good practice on bank shots. Got some good insight as to the pro practice measures and their little drills that they do, which are going to be very difficult to do on the smaller size table. A couple of them might be feasible. Most of them are not. The center line drill will probably be most feasible, where you line up all the balls on the center of the table, and then keep the object ball between here. Have your row here, and then shoot down towards either pocket, keeping the next object ball in this area. I think that one's going to be feasible. Obviously, your bank shots; that's a basic, just practice type deal. Long rails, definitely going to have to work on those because those are terrible. Yeah, other than that, draw shots I'm going to have to work on those. I've gotten no action for draw today whatsoever. I'm looking to zing this back, the draw drill as well. That one, maybe I'll set up the perfect X and see if we can't do something with that. It's where you put a ball here, and the ball on 2 and 1, 2 here, 1 here, another ball here, and then the same on the opposite end, and you shoot from corner to corner for your stop shots, follow shots, and draw shots. That might be feasible. Maybe. Whether or not I'm going to get any cue action is going to depend on my stroke, and it is not stroking today, that's for sure. It's a little bit stiff after last night. Can't manage to shake it, so it's one of those things. A couple hours, a little bit here, a little bit there. You know, do some practice here, do some practice with you know, how many balls can you make before you scratch, that kind of thing, and then you know, obviously a few 9-ball racks. So I'll probably keep rolling with that and see how many racks I can make, or even break and run and things of that nature. Today's high score, 13 for how many balls can you pop without missing. So that's not bad. You know, 2 more, it would have been a full rack. So that would have been cool. So we're getting better, and we're getting better on this table. We're getting better on this felt, and it's not something that's going to happen overnight. So it's a journey. So thanks for sticking around, guys. And I don't even know who's on, if anybody. So kill that music because that is really, really loud. You go and see who's on. Jess is on. Go rate Jess.